Well, here we are on lockdown due to the coronavirus. And I've been wondering, how was your intimacy before lockdown? Was it a little bit off, perhaps? Because now I can imagine if you're in there together, it's all getting a bit tense and perhaps awkward. Well, I want you to stay with me because I'll show you then how to open the conversation, how to flirt again, and the importance of deep, passionate kissing. And then I'll give you 5 tips on how to get started. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Maggie Bain. I'm the Bare Naked Coach. I work with individuals and couples to strip down to their authentic self, to push past self-limiting beliefs, doubts, fears, misconceptions, so that they too can create an extraordinary relationship. I'm an author, international speaker, the first sex therapist in the Bahamas, and I have asked Dr. Phil about his intimacy. And so I'll ask you again, how was your intimacy before lockdown? Was it difficult? Have there been problems? Have there been resentments, betrayals? Have there been things between the two of you that have stopped from being so close? Has it been like that? Well, I know from doing this work for a long time that there is a misconception. We are brought up thinking that we're supposed to know how to do everything naturally, that it's a given, that we're all supposed to know how to have hot sex every time. We're brought up with fairy stories, with the internet telling us about celebrities and their perfect lives. We see other people and other couples and wonder, what do they do that we don't do? And so it makes us feel restless and discouraged. And even further, perhaps even despair. So, I know you're saying, yeah, well, it was like that before at the beginning, Maggie, but it's not like that now. We're getting older, and I know things change. Over the decades, our hormones change, life happens, and sometimes we just don't pay as much attention. Or perhaps it never got off to a great start to begin with. I met a young couple, newly married, 1 month in recently, and they had red flags when they were dating. And they just thought, oh, well, once we get married, everything's going to be all right. You know, it'll just correct itself. It'll sort itself out. And they just thought, you know, they would have lots of hot sex and plenty, and it just never happened. And so when he contacted me, I really complimented him because it takes a lot to reach out. It takes a lot of courage to say, I love this woman, but I cannot bear the idea of living my life with little to no sex at all. I'm far too young. And so we started talking. And it took some time to find out what was the real problem and the pressures that they were exerting on each other. And the word annulment had even passed his lips. That is a lot of pain. And it got worse. It got worse to the point where they felt that they were being pushed over the edge. Have you been to that place? Teetering on the edge of complete despair to the point where you don't know how you're going to go on. You don't know what's the point of anything. You don't know about life itself. Well, I don't want you to get to that point. I want you to see if some of these tips can help you. So tip 1 is be the one to open the conversation about it. And I know this can be really difficult, and I always tell people, open that conversation out of the bedroom. All right? It's got to start somewhere, because if you don't know, and if you can't ask your partner what they feel about it, then nothing will ever be resolved. So it's so important. But do it as an opener. Do it by asking them what they think. And then you in turn, hopefully, should be able to put in your input as well. And so we go from there. 2, discuss these things. This conversation, try and have it, find a light-hearted sense of humor. Because it's so important to make it fun and playful, and you get further with that rather than being tense and criticizing and there's always problems. This is my suggestion. 3, think back. Has that flirting just disappeared out of your lives? It's very easy for it all just to disappear because you become comfortable with each other. This is the natural progression of a relationship. But to keep it hot and spicy and to keep that closeness, you have to maintain. And so it's really just making sure that the flirting is still there. Think back. Was it holding hands? Was it a brush of the arm? Was it the brush of the face? Was it the sweet talk? What was it? Number 4, understand the importance of deep, passionate kissing. I love this. And it's so important. It's one of the first questions I ask couples when they come and see me, because it's one of the first things to go as well. But if we're looking for quick arousal, deep, passionate kissing is it. Soon I'm going to do a video just on deep, passionate kissing, and I'll explain to you why. But think back and start it. 5, understand the importance of anticipation. You know, we get into a routine and there's nothing to look forward to. It's predictable, and predictable in certain things, the foundation is good. But we need to liven things up for it to become interesting again. And so get creative. Take turns. You're in there together. You've got all the time to get creative about your anticipation, all right? What are you going to look forward to? It gets the imagination going. And so there are, I've given you 5 tips on how to open the conversation, how to flirt again, and the importance of deep, passionate kissing. There is no better time and place than right now, today. If you would like to contact me about your own situation, the contacts are below. So, what are you waiting for? Just go for it.